What if this is it? What if this ache is not passing through? What if it unpacked its bags years ago and never plans to leave? What if the heaviness you wake up with every morning isn't temporary? What if this sadness has already chosen your address? But then, what if pain is lying? What if it always lies? What if every wound arrives speaking forever, when it only knows how to stay for a season? I don't know, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe pain lives in the space between those two possibilities, because some nights it sounds eternal. It sits beside you in the dark and says, "I'm not going anywhere," and somehow you believe it. You believe it because it knows your history. It knows where your heart cracked. It knows the names you don't say anymore. It knows the dreams that died quietly. It knows exactly where to press. And when it speaks, it sounds like truth. But what if tomorrow exists differently than pain predicts? What if there is a version of you that laughs again? No, wait, what if there isn't? See, that's how the argument goes. Back and forth, back and forth. A war with no winner. A courtroom inside your chest. One voice says, "You'll carry this forever." The other whispers, "You've survived every version of forever so far." One voice says, "Nothing changes." The other asks, "Then why has everything changed before?" And neither side seems strong enough to silence the other. So you keep walking, not because you're hopeful, not because you're healed, but because stopping doesn't answer the question. What if pain never goes away? What if it becomes your shadow? What if every sunrise simply introduces you to the same hurt, wearing different clothes? What if healing is just a beautiful story people tell each other because the alternative is too frightening? What if the scars never stop speaking? What if the memories never loosen their grip? What if every goodbye keeps echoing forever? But then, what if pain is not the thing that stays? What if you are? What if pain keeps changing faces because it is the visitor and you are the house? What if every storm you've survived is proof that permanence is not pain's strongest talent? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because some days pain feels ancient, older than hope, older than joy, older than every good thing. Some days it feels woven into your bones, as if removing it would mean removing yourself. And that's terrifying, because if pain has become part of you, then who are you without it? Who are you when the hurt finally leaves? Who are you if the sadness lets go? Who are you if the burden drops? Sometimes we cling to pain because we no longer recognize ourselves without it. And isn't that strange? To fear the very freedom we keep praying for, to stand at the door of healing and wonder whether we should open it, to spend years asking pain to leave, then panic when it finally starts walking away. Maybe that's why healing arrives so quietly. Maybe pain leaves the same way the night leaves. Not all at once, not dramatically, just a little less darkness every day. So little that you don't notice, so little that you swear nothing is changing, until one afternoon you realize you've gone hours without thinking about what once consumed you. And even then, another voice appears. It says, "Careful, don't trust this. The pain will come back. And maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe that's the mystery. Not whether pain returns, but whether it returns as your ruler or merely your visitor. What if pain never goes away? Then let it watch you build a life anyway. What if pain does go away? Then let it discover you no longer need its permission to live. Either way, the sun still rises, the heart still beats, the story still moves, and maybe that is the revelation hiding beneath every question. Maybe the opposite of pain is not happiness. Maybe the opposite of pain is not even healing. Maybe the opposite of pain is surrendering the need to know how long it will stay. Because pain keeps asking for predictions, and life keeps refusing to provide them. Life simply says, keep going, not because the road is easy, not because the answer is certain, but because somewhere ahead, beyond all the arguments, beyond all the fear, beyond every what if, there is a version of you no longer fighting the pain, no longer running from it, no longer becoming it, just walking, and somehow, in that walking, finding peace. And maybe that's all any of us can do. Not solve every question, not erase every doubt, not arrive at some perfect understanding of ourselves. Just keep walking, keep listening, keep becoming, because life has a strange way of revealing answers only after we've stopped demanding them. And perhaps the next thing you're worried about today will someday become another story you barely remember telling. Or perhaps it won't. Perhaps it will stay with you in some small way. But even then, maybe carrying something is different from being controlled by it. Maybe the weight changes. Maybe you change. Maybe that's enough. For now, until the next question finds us, until the next mystery asks to be understood, until the next chapter begins. This is Diana, and this is Skills in English, a place where we explore the thoughts we rarely say out loud, the questions that keep us awake, and the quiet truths hiding inside everyday life. And if something in today's journey stayed with you, if a sentence found you at the right moment, if a question is still echoing in your mind, then don't let this be the end of the conversation. Subscribe and join us for the next one, because there are still questions worth asking, still stories worth uncovering, still parts of ourselves waiting to be discovered. And until then, take care of yourself, keep moving forward, and I'll see you in the next episode.